So a couple of you guys asked me, Archfiend, why didn't you give your Pro Bowl prediction in my last video I made about the NFC AFC Championship games? And, well, I'm a lover of football. I've been an avid follower, lover, passionate about the sport, borderline fanboy at times, extraordinarily fanboyish at times about it, for 30 plus years of my life. But I can tell you right now, the Pro Bowl, which is the quote-unquote all-star game between NFC and AFC, well, it's not even, you can't even say that anymore because now the two teams are compiled from drafting, so you can have both NFC and AFC guys on the same team. But anyway, it's hands down what I consider to be the worst sports competition team game that I've ever seen or not seen, because I haven't watched an entire one from beginning to end. It just fucking sucks. It's kind of like one of the reasons why I hate college football. It's because when I see college football, I don't see professional level football. It's not, knocking college guys. I mean, they're well trained, they're well honed at their craft and all that shit. But when you comparatively to the NFL, it's an inferior product. And it's not the same speed, same tempo, whatever, what have you. And I see that with the NFL Pro Bowl. Like, for instance, one of the things, I just heard about this yesterday. I literally did not know that blitzing is banned in the Pro Bowl. And if you do blitz, it's a penalty. So, one of the key things that helps create quarterback pressure, flushes them out of the pocket, that determines like how good your quarterback is and multifaceted your quarterback is just gone from this quote-unquote all-star game. Now, I understand you don't want to see a quarterback get injured in the Pro Bowl for a quote-unquote exhibition game, for lack of a better term, but it's just kind of a joke that this game even still exists. It is such a shell of what a real NFL level football game is. If you love a game where all you're going to see is offense, 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 no hard tackling, no solid rushing at the line from the defensive lineman or anything like that, just showboating, flamboyancy, highlights. I mean, if that's what you want, that's what you get. It's just an NBA dunk competition, for lack of a better term. Which, you could say the same thing about the NBA All-Star Game. Like, you don't see, Shaq fucking killing people in the paint during the All-Star Game or anything like that, playing hard, stiff defense. I get it that, defense tends to be toned down in every All-Star Game. But with the NFL, you take the defense out of the equation and it is such a one-sided spectacle of shit. At least with the NBA, it is still tremendously entertaining, or hockey, or, well, baseball, you don't really take that much of the defense out of the gameplay in their all-star game. But with football, you just see it just drops the game down a complete level, whereas the NBA, it's still, very entertaining. Because you can play somewhat aggressive defense without crossing the line of, like, I don't want to injure the guy, whereas football, you take away the defense, and it just completely opens up the offensive game so much more, and just so barely loosely resembles a real NFL level football game. Now, you may ask yourselves why, if so many people like, myself and other football fans think like this, and this is a shared opinion of a lot of people that just can't stand the Pro Bowl, and just when they compare it to other All-Star games, they just talk about how much it sucks. Why does it still exist? Well, another thing I found out yesterday on top of that blitz rule is last year's Pro Bowl got the same amount of viewers as the Major League Baseball World Series. You have got to be fucking kidding me. Millions upon millions of people. It just goes to show how just insanely popular anything the NFL puts their name on right now, how just insanely popular it gets. The fact that last year's Pro Bowl game got the same amount of viewership as America's quote-unquote pastime, even though football's well surpassed it in popularity, America's quote-unquote pastime, championship games got the same amount of viewership as some all-star game that many of its fans consider to be just a bore fest, a boring secondary NFL football product. That is just fucking, I'm just like, wow, no shit, it keeps coming back every year. It's clear. It can make money if you put in jail inmates on the football field and called it the Pro Bowl. Again, a lot of you guys, or some of you guys, not even a lot of you, because most of you don't give a fuck about the Pro Bowl, and I don't blame you. Some of you guys that watch my football videos were like, well, you know, why don't you give your prediction of the NFL Pro Bowl this year in your last video about covering the NFC and AFC championship game? It's like, who cares? I hope team who gives a fuck beats team I don't give a shit. That's basically how I see the Pro Bowl. Absolutely zero interest in it. I don't care if Nick Foles looks glorious and puts up 5 touchdowns in 1 quarter. It'll mean absolutely nothing to me. Like, performance-wise, if you have, you know, like one of your favorite players on an offensive side of the ball and they make great plays, it's like there's nothing you can even take from it. It's like, great, Nick Foles threw 5 touchdowns in a game where there was no defensive pass rush, no blitzing, could sit back in the pocket all day, just be like, oh, it's 10, 15 seconds, okay, I'll throw the ball now. I'm like, millions upon millions of viewers every year. But whatever, it's not my cup of tea, it's everyone else's. I mean, you know, it's nice, you know, I guess in Cleveland, a team that barely makes it to the playoffs gets to see, you know, a player or two highlighted on a national game. You know, that's cool and all, I guess. But, you know, someone like, you know, just wants to see a Super Bowl and nothing else, and to see this be the precursor to the Super Bowl, I'm like, this is such a fucking joke. That the ultimate game of the season, the predecessor to it, or the entree to the main course, is this secondary that resembles like lower level college team play. Oh my god. Anyway, so those of you asking for my Pro Bowl prediction, I don't give a shit who wins out of Team Rice or Team Sanders. I think this is stupid how they, I mean, one of the nice things was they kept the NFC and AFC apart. Now they split that up. Anyone that wants to get any sort of bragging rights from this, like if your favorite, like if Crabtree burns a corner left and right, like who gives a shit? Anyway, the NFL Pro Bowl, I personally would like to see it go, but realistically, I don't think you ever are. Because like I said, got as many viewers as the fucking World Series did last year. Makes you wonder, like, if they are going to replace it, when will they ever replace it? Like, is it going to take, and it's sad that it's going to probably take this, that you're going to see a big primetime player get injured in a quote-unquote exhibition game. I don't want it to happen, but if you're going to see a, you know, a silver lining on that cloud is that hopefully it'll just get rid of the Pro Bowl, because it would suck. I can tell you right now, if Nick Foles gets injured, like something just tears an ACL, even if it's done a fluke play, he slips and falls, running out of bounds on the sideline, I'd be one pissed-ass motherfucker. And guarantee you that's going to be one enjoyable thing you'll get from the Pro Bowl is if someone on the Eagles fucking hurts themselves tonight, I'm going to fucking blow up like you've never seen before. Anyway, I know a lot of you are praying now that one of the Eagles gets hurt tonight, so you see me make a video where I lose my mind. But it's sad that it's going to take something like that to get rid of this just again, secondary NFL product, and people like me that take the NFL so seriously and all that. When you see something that's a secondary watered down product, it's just like insulting. It's just insulting. Just replace it with like skills competitions, something that's cool and interesting to watch. Kind of like what the NHL does with the skills competition, or what the NBA does during All-Star Weekend. Any of those teams, like the home run derby, etc. All that stuff. That's all fascinating to watch. The NFL, we don't need to see a secondary watered down product of a fucking professional football game. Anyways, I've ran on too much about this. That's what happens when I'm passionate about something. I just blah, 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 blah. Anyway, enjoy the Pro Bowl if you watch it tonight. I won't. Watch the Royal Rumble instead. Or don't, because WWE sucks. Anyway, have a great night, everyone.